kia kata whānau. Welcome back to the Friday show of the Big Hairy News. How are you, Magenta?
Oh, yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I'm a little bit tired tonight, but other than that, yeah, pretty good. Honestly, I'm looking forward to this weekend. So I'm going to meet up with some of our BHN Wally crew, and while Pat gets married, we'll be actually play testing for the official Cards Against Humanity and having some Kai, maybe a few Inus. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm pretty excited, actually.
Nice.
So yeah,
Exciting.
that'll be me. That'll be me tomorrow.
Fun. Well, I'll be. I've been dragged along to a mandatory birthday celebration for myself, so I will be doing that. I look forward to it. It should be fun. All the family's coming up. It should be fun.
Nice.
But I'm just like, I'm so tired at the moment. But
usually
when someone is like, my birthday, it's a whole week of awesomeness, but I'm like, I don't know.
You had a lot on though the week before, so I mean, fair enough,
honestly. Yeah, we had Core Fan Fest, which is a little cosplay event that my friends and I run, and it went okay. It went well. It's always a bit different each time.
Yeah.
So, I think overall the vibes were good, but
it's the nature of those things, eh? Did you end up seeing my friend there? Did you end up running into my friend?
No, I actually I just didn't have time.
Damn.
I'm one of those people that was like, I'm the day of person. So the morning I was running around and I was ordering people, I was fixing problems, and I'm like, cool. And then I hit lunchtime and I crashed, and there was coloring tape. There was like a middle table where there was like little coloring in things for kids.
Nice.
And I got put on ticketing, so they're just like, oh, just sit here and wait. And I was like, oh, coloring in. So I started doing that, and I was just like this for like a good hour of just coloring in.
Aww,
and then I was like, oh wait, this is my own character. I don't even know my own like character's colors. So I was like, oh wait, this is the wrong color. But yeah, that was cool. So that was
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, my audio probably is out of sync. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, I don't know. She'll be right.
You'll get over it.
Well, love.
All right. Have we got any family business before we get into the news? I suppose we'll do the usual. Do some pluggings. So this week we've been going pretty hard with Patreon.
I did it.
Oh, thank you. You did the thing. I always forget to do that.
Yeah, it's my job now.
Hey, that's you're gonna have that job, and
I'm a banner boy. And I think we've also got a bit of a graphic. Did you want to share the thing, or should we? Oh, you got it.
Yep. So this week we've been going pretty hard on the Patreon, trying to get up to another 100 patrons. Which, if you guys can help out with that, that's amazing. Thank you. This is just for some people that perhaps want to support the show in more capacity than just watching. Which, I mean, liking, sharing, watching the videos, watching the live streams, and chatting, that's all really, really important stuff as well. But if you are someone that would like to give a little bit per month to help us out and continue to grow and keep doing this cool stuff, then you can go over to the Patreon and become a member. There was a few people that were asking how to actually do this. So if you go to patreon.com/bighairynews, or you just Google it, you'll come to this page, and then you'll see the tiers down here. So there's a $5, $8, $15, $35, $50, $100, and $250 a month tiers. And you can do it for as little as $5 a month. You can change it any time. So if you want to give more, or you decide you want to give a little bit less, you can totally do that. But as Pat was saying, it's really, if you can give maybe $15 one month, and then perhaps it's maybe a little bit much, maybe go for a lower tier if you still want to continue to do it monthly. Otherwise, things like super chats also really help. So if you just want to be able to give a little donation here and there, then super chats are great. If you want to go give us a little bit more, then yeah, that's a place to do it. Essentially, support us there. And it's simple as press join and ask you payment details. So there you go. But you will... you give it the little numbers. and then you'll see monthly posts, and I think there's an in-person Patreon meetup coming up too. So,
and we
so
do the online meetups as well. So
and we do the online meetups.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, there's some cool stuff going on there. But otherwise, we love having you here in the chat too.
Yes.
Oh, look at
and
that.
Also, so I made this up today for us. So this is the QR codes should work. Hopefully, if they don't, let me know. But if you want to sign up to Patreon, hit that one. Otherwise, there's also BHN Shop and the Discord. Like, also another way that you can help us is just by sharing content. Obviously, that is always a way to help us, because you might not have money, but the person that you share it to might have money, and that'd be really cool. So we'll post these up on socials too. So don't worry if you don't get your phone out right now and hit the QR code. It'll be back.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our housekeeping for now. Otherwise, let's go into a quick recap of the week. I feel like this now needs to be a bit of a recap of the week. Like we need a little ringtone. Not ringtone.
A little ditty.
What do you call it? A little what are they called?
Song? Yeah, my brain's just shit itself.
Theme song. Theme song. It's probably that's what I'm thinking. Gonna do some a pachunk, and a pachunky chunk. One of these.
Well, I mean, it's fine because while you're doing that, I mean, Reagan has just arrived, so we were clearly waiting. So thank you for tuning up. We can now continue with the rest of the show. Appreciate it.
Right, no, we had to stop, pause, wait, continue.
Also, jingle? Was that the word?
Jingle!
It was jingle.
Jingle can do it.
Congratulations.
We need one of I need one of those.
Oh no, sorry, Peter Slime was. Jokes.
It's I need a sound desk where I can just do a little.
Oh yeah. Do like a little bang.
Yeah, one of those. All right. Well, an interesting week this week. Very big week. Obviously, Trump and his administration, his inauguration, his new presidency kicking off. That's been dominating the news for sure. And then, yeah, everyone in a few things going on here in New Zealand that popped off as well. So, yeah, obviously the Trump inauguration, which has continued. It feels like it's 4 or 5 days of just Trump news.
Oh, and it's only gets weirder and weirder. Like I think the news that I heard today was that Snoop Dogg performed at some party for Trump, so now everyone's going against Snoop Dogg. So it just gets weirder, man.
Snoop, come on, dude. You were hitting highs. Now you're hitting lows. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Robert Patman on the show on Monday as well, speaking on Donald Trump and I guess the threat that he poses to not only America, but also to Trump himself, and whether or not he's actually surrounding himself with people that are capable enough to actually execute what he wants to do. Yeah. Which would be interesting to see, but it seems like Project 2025 is kicking off with a bang, and it's going well. So,
unfortunately, yay!
And obviously, with that inauguration, you had Hail Hitler, Elon Musk, and I am not holding back saying that we all know that was. I'm getting really annoyed with media just skirting around it and saying, "Oh, that awkward gesture." I'm like, no, it's not a fucking awkward gesture, guys. Come on, sort your shit out. Call it out what it is. If good old Nick Fuentes is saying, "Hey, great, you did the thing," then I'm gonna fucking believe Fuentes over media that's skirting around it. So that was cool. That came out of that.
Yeah, that was not fun. I mean, are we surprised though? We knew this year was going to be. I mean, what we've been avoiding thinking about this day for probably at least since it basically.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be a thing that existed. Really. Oh, who was that? Was that me or you? Who knows? Anyway, can you hear me, Ems?
Yeah, I cut out. Sorry, guys.
Oh, weird.
That was me.
Oh, hopefully that's all good then.
Is my audio fixed or is it still annoying?
Maybe it was because something was loading in, might have been StreamYard or something. All good.
Could have been. It did say that you were having some issues, but that shouldn't be an issue. I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm uploading. Why am I uploading? What am I uploading? StreamYard, what's going on? What are you doing?
Oh well, who cares? We'll just move on, and hopefully it doesn't keep doing anything. If it does, hopefully it should be all right.
It's all on you.
Oh no, no pressure, guys. Hey, at least it's not like that other time when we lost our audio for like God knows how long. So like,
I think it's because I called out Elon Musk and he
right
StreamYard and decided to cut me off.
It's Atlas like, Network, they're coming for you. We got to be careful. Yeah. Targets on our back.
And that was just Monday. Okay, Tuesday. Kerry Pahinda jumped on and he was great. He did not hold back. He never holds back, and I really appreciate it about him.
I loved him.
Lay in some hard truths about the health sector. One thing for me that really stood out was he actually explained how the private public sectors work together. And he made a really good point of like, the private sector is an important part of our health system, like, but it is kind of not 50-50, but it does serve a certain purpose. It shouldn't be like 50-50 private. Well, I don't know if it is. I don't know if it's a 3/4 or if it's a 50-50 thing. But I did appreciate that he explained that, you specialists, and I've experienced this in personal circumstances, but your specialist services, which are maybe your special, I don't know, what is it, gastroenterologists, probably gynecologists, really specific special doctors and surgeons and things, tend to operate in the private sector, and the public sector will, if they're overrun, they'll just push you off to them and they'll pay the private sector for that particular procedure. Yeah. And oftentimes it's kind of like for things like colonoscopies, it's just kind of like a day clinic, and you've just got one after the other, and then it just like it runs like a perfect little machine. Yeah. Whereas I think the public sector, because they're dealing with they deal with the emergencies or the special cases that kind of come out of the blue that aren't scheduled. They're often kind of a bit all over the place and a bit more frantic. So I love that he explained how the two work together, and that he explained that when something goes wrong and you're in the private, in a private hospital or whatever, if it's an emergency, they then send you to the public hospital because that's what they're used to dealing with and they're much better at it. So the private sector and private healthcare, and I'm really just talking Southern Cross because I don't think there's any others as far as I'm aware.
There's probably some, but heck knows what they are.
Probably some.
I'm too poor to know what insurance is, sorry.
Well, there's Southern Healthcare Insurance, and it means you get put to the top of the waiting list, and you pay a premium, and they pay some of your bills if you pay even more of a premium. But yeah, we have a Southern Cross Hospital here. I think we've got St George's as well, and there's a few other small private hospitals. But obviously, Christchurch is the main hospital, and it does most of the stuff. But I appreciated the explanation of how the two work together and how they're both important. But obviously, going too far in one direction does not help, and privatizing healthcare should not be our priority. It should be bolstering the public.
It's funny because I feel like maybe a certain man should watch a certain fucking episode. I've also decided I'm no longer using his name because, as Chloe said, let's not give power to his name. So from now on, when I say Nintendo DS, the DS stands for dumb shit. And you know what I'm saying.
My favorite thing was, I think it was Stephen Colbert. He stopped saying Trump after the closing in on his end of his presidency, and he started using things he found on Twitter, and it was like like people just like messing up his name or like saying code names for him, and it was the most hilarious stuff. And he would just, when he was said, instead of saying Trump, he would say such and such. It would just be so good because you knew who he was referring to. But, it was like the orange man. Face.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Like,
Cheetolini.
Sorry, Artemis is.
I love that.
Artemis is making an appointment.
Oh,
he wants attention today.
That's fine. I'm sure everyone was happy to see him when we're talking about Trump of all people. So,
Bloop.
oh, bye, buddy.
Some yelling at me. Yeah, so I think we should probably start doing the same and see if we can maybe start a list of pseudonyms for him.
Yeah.
So that was a Tuesday. And then a Wednesday. Luxon's economy is stagnant as rent prices increase, which is great.
Yeah. What a surprise,
and, we had a chat about this last year, didn't we?
Yep. In that exact room that you're in.
We sure did. Showing, I think this is about the point-ish.
Yep, that's it. I mean, we don't have to necessarily play it fully, but I mean, anyone who watched us last year would have seen us talking about the absolute lies that were Luxon's claims around rent prices. And then I just thought it was so funny to see that after Christmas, not even, I mean, that episode was maybe a month ago. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we were already kind of hitting the shitter, and now it's confirmed.
Right?
Rents are up. Who would have thought?
Crazy that.
Yeah. So not doing so great. Other than that, inflation is pretty much where it should be. It's nothing crazy. It's not making a huge dent in it, but it's expected. Unemployment is still pretty shit and high. So yeah, he's probably going to harp on about we did in this state of the nation about how amazing things are going, and that we didn't need to talk about healthcare or education or any of those other sectors because they're important, but not that important. The economy is the most important thing to talk about. Pretty sure he said that while there was a Kiwi Bank logo right in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Kiwi Bank, wasn't it? Hang on, let me confirm.
I mean, I guess at least if it's going to be a bank, at least it's the one with Kiwi in it. I don't even know anymore if that's still even.
Oh, yeah. No, it was a Kiwi Bank logo in front of him. I mean, I'm all for supporting Kiwi Bank. If they can bolster Kiwi Bank into becoming an actual competitor of the other four, that's fantastic. But they actually need to help them do that with money, funnily enough. So should probably get that sorted. And it does perfectly into day 4, which was a Thursday. What? My cat's strange. He sits on anything. He's sitting on plastic right now. It's his new bed. Where we covered the cabinet replacements, or the Luxon shuffle. The Luxon shuffle. Where everyone lost their jobs, which was cool, except his you know that little graphic you had where it was like all the kids, it was like an old kids show, and you put the like MPs' faces.
Oh yeah. I've got that actually. I can probably find it. But yes, the one that was made by old Detective Rogernomics. That was actually Detective Rogernomics.
I think we need to make sure that that's updated to Luxon's trusted circle of Simeon Brown, Nicola Willis. Erica Stanford didn't get touched as far as I'm aware. Ye old, what did I say, Simeon? Surprised about Mark Mitchell, though. Although, did he lose his portfolio, or did he...
I'll be honest, I don't know if I paid attention to Mark Mitchell.
I'd love to know where that comes from. That still is like, what is this? Is he still, can someone confirm, is he still police?
Oh, he gained Minister of Sport?
He gained Minister of Sport, okay. Oh yeah. Okay, if that's up to date, then yeah, he's still Minister for Police and Minister for Sport and Recreation, Emergency Managing and Recovery. Okay, so he's still in corrections. So he's still doing whatever he's doing. So he's still in that circle. But yeah, I feel like there's a little bubble of people around him that he's like, these are my trusted people. Judith Collins is still one of them. So although I did love her. Let me help you with that, Luxon.
Oh, that was so funny.
With her eyebrows, and she's just like,
Yeah. She was like, all
Yeah,
right,
what you
let
fucking
mum
say,
handle
boy.
it. Fucking hell.
Hang on. The correct thing to do here, Mr. Not good at this politician, is to say yada yada.
What did you
Yeah,
say to
so that
you?
was Thursday. All the big shuffles that happened, no one's well actually no, I was surprised by that, considering he was like, no one's going anywhere. But maybe he
I never believe
decided that he
anything he
was
says.
no, exactly. So
They say they're not gonna do a bunch of shit, and then they do it.
and then they do it. Or they do it another way. Or they say, oh, that's David Seymour's fault. That's how it's a coalition.
Also, Citizen Gold. It's apparently it's a Matt Damon reference. I don't understand how Matt Damon and Mark Mitchell are that part, but I do get the Matt Damon reference. I love
Damon. I still say Matt Damon.
Same. Matt Damon.
To this day.
Oh God! Don't start me off on the echolalia, guys. That's dangerous. I won't stop.
Infiltrate your brain. And the other one from that was girl Melissa Lee got completely cut out.
Yeah.
Dick move, in my opinion. I mean, jeez.
I mean,
she did something wrong, and it was like, you're out. Whereas the other ones are like, I'll shuffle you around. Shane Reedy's next to go. He got moved, but he's out. Next reshuffle, he just budget, whatever, they're just going to cut him out.
I don't know, man. You'd think that they shouldn't be doing this many reshuffles. Like,
oh God, no! Isn't he supposed to be like the business guy, and he's supposed to be really good at like?
Aren't they all
people?
supposed to be business guys? I don't know, man. Like, I don't think they're good at. They're not good at anything they say they're good at. So, I mean,
people say Melissa Lee's always been useless. No, she's a show pony.
Well, I mean, she was
not that skilled.
Pretty fucking useless. Yeah. And I mean, she definitely got slowly pushed out. Yeah. And I mean, you got to be pretty bad to get pushed out of this national government. Like, that's embarrassing.
Labour's the same with their core bubble. Yeah, Labour's the same with their little. I mean, all parties are the same with their little core bubble, but it just seems to be the same people all the time. But maybe that's keep your friends close. Maybe your enemies closer. Was there anything?
Yeah. Well, actually, there was one little thing I'm going to quickly share first. Is that with the old Slimy and Brown entering with the old the good old fun abortion stuff. It just kind of, I saw this post and I thought it was very interesting because, you know, obviously this isn't just relevant to maybe here or America or anywhere else that's currently facing a rise of right-wing authoritarianism. But yeah, I also actually didn't know this. This is something that was brand new to me. I did not know that they once, you know, actually had a bunch of freedoms that they now no longer have. Like, you know, there's a bunch of people in the comments that were just talking about, you know, all of the rights that have been taken away that, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us didn't realize existed.
I mean, we all thought Roe v. Wade was an impossibility to be overturned when they did it. So.
Exactly. So, I mean, when people say they're worried, there's a fucking reason. Because history repeats itself, and it's concerning when you can see all the patterns.
I love this. Maybe it's a promotion to not have a portfolio assigned to the leisure class.
Oh,
that's true, but I assume if you're doing a job, you want to be actually doing the job. There is nothing worse, in my opinion, than having a job in which you do nothing.
Yeah, but if you're rich enough, like, you don't care because you do nothing and because you have all this money to spend on other shit.
Yeah, that's true, but surely you've got to actually do something. Like, I don't know.
No, that's literally why capitalism needs to die.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, you're still an MP and you're still employed in government, so you have to you still have to turn up. Like, what the fuck are you doing if you haven't got a portfolio? Is it going out and speaking to people and trying to get their votes the next time? Is that what you're doing for 2 years?
Well, especially if you're national, I'm sure they go to a bunch of fucking dinners and lunches, brunches. Yes.
Although who's going to be like, newly kicked out Melissa Lee, come to our lunch and be there.
I mean, to be fair, old Nintendo DS was having some conference at some rich, fancy part of Auckland while all the other MPs were at Rātana.
That's true, yeah. But he was
So,
actually
like,
oh man, did you see the people's heads in that room? They were all old people. They were
because he
all
was in a
very
rich
old people.
place.
But no wonder he's got like his fingers around that particular pie. Like he's appealing to a very, very racist old white class. Like just that should be very much dying out, hopefully soon. And I wonder if it's one of those things of like he's kind of youngish enough and he's speaking the right language. They're like, oh, that Nintendo DS, I do like him. He's speaking the language.
And he's a Mary. He's a Mary. He's
got the Mary blood.
He's allowed to say that.
Oh, he's fine. He's speaking on behalf of the other Mary. Something along those lines.
Also, I love how whenever we do old people, it's always those voices.
Yeah, it is. Because we all know that grandma that's like, come and sit down.
My grandma.
Let me be casually racist with you. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Not even casual. It's not casual. My grandmother's racism is not casual.
Hey, there's the casual racism in which there's no respect, whatever, and they just say it as if it's like kosher, normal, everyone says it. And then there's the unintentionally racist, which is what one of my grandmas was, where she would say things, you're like, Nanny, you can't say that. I know you're well-intentioned and you're actually saying something positive, but that was still racist. And I couldn't call her out because she was like pretty much gone at that point. So I was like, I love you, Nana.
Sometimes
she
you
was
just
actually such a
yeah.
Such
like,
a
I let my
nan
nan have it.
Oh,
she's old enough, like we'll just enjoy it while we can.
She just don't vote.
Yeah. Well, I did manage to convince her to vote yes on the cannabis referendum. So we're making
good
progress.
on you. Okay.
She's not completely unsavable, guys. It's all good.
Yeah, that's true. They're not all unsavable. Maybe you can appeal to their their dying days, their last years, and encourage them to think about your future and your children's future or their grandchildren's future, and just think about what we would like and use those particular votes for us. I don't know. Anyway, someone said Dex Topper. That's true. Sorry. And then yesterday we also talked about Elon confirms he's a piece of shit. So cool.
Yeah. Elon sucks. Nothing new.
Yeah, so it's been a week. We're all tired, I think, and it's only just the beginning. So what I've decided is that even though it's exhausting for me and you, it's also exhausting for everyone in the chat. It's exhausting for everyone in the world right now because it's just screaming at you all the like regressiveness and shit that's happening behind our backs and all the bills that we've got to submit to. So what I've decided is that for the sake of all you guys, I will be your vent. We'll call this venting hour every night as we do on BHN. And then you guys can all say, hey, we had our venting session. I'm going to go and enjoy my weekend, touch grass, and remember that, hey, at least our city's not on fire. The country might be on fire, but the city's not on fire, and it's okay.
Exactly. Although hopefully when people go out on their weekends, they don't have what happened to me yesterday. I went to the beach because I was like, I need a break from like what you were saying. It's been a long week. I thought I'll go to the beach. I'll let the ocean water cleanse me. I am in the ocean, and there is two white young men talking about Donald Trump's inauguration in the ocean. So please don't talk about that stuff when you go out and have fun. Because that sucks.
No conversations in fun times, but do have conversations with your friends about this stuff. But no conversations during fun times.
Yes.
That's a shame.
Anyway, should we jump quickly into the quick update from last week? Just so way for people, because for everyone who was here last week, we obviously talked medicinal cannabis, and we've actually got a bit of an update on medicinal cannabis. So it's not a huge update.
Oh, I didn't mention Craig Greeny. Yes, Craig Greeny was there last night.
Craig,
and he was a real gem. Of course he was.
Yeah,
how did I miss that? My favorite Englishman.
To be fair, he was right at the end of the week, so he hasn't had as long to kind of stew in the brain.
Yeah.
Especially compared to Dr. Payenda. But yes, so just a small update for everyone in terms of we were discussing the pricings of medicinal cannabis. There's actually been some announcements from one of the medicinal cannabis clinics here in New Zealand that they have lowered their consultation pricing by $20. So they're now $49. Rescripts are $39, and they've actually introduced, just due to the cost of living and all of the, like the story that we looked at last week about people trying to, cry out for things to be cheaper, they've actually introduced a new brand of medicinal cannabis that is actually a lot cheaper. So, and it's in total, it is $79 per 10 grams, which works out to be $239 for 30 grams, which compared to the numbers we talked about last week is $170 cheaper when you include the price for the scripting fees as well. So it looks like there's going to be a lot more access available financially now for people who are seeking that kind of medicine. So yeah, if you're interested in looking into it, I highly recommend looking into it and letting people know in your life if they've got, medicinal cannabis prescriptions that they might want to look into cheaper alternatives that have just become available.
Nice. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah. Alrighty. What we got next?
My computer's doing funny things.
Sweet as. Did you want me to share up the next story?
Yeah. What have you got? You're going to do a bit of a deep dive, eh?
Oh no, we can just
missed headlines.
The Rātana ones there, yeah.
Oh, Ratana, of course,
yeah.
Of course, we can't miss that.
Yeah. We'll go to Rātana first, since I've already seen people mentioning it a bit in the comments, and obviously I've had a few people already talking. Me and Detective Rogers might have been talking about it a bit earlier on today because he was giving me a bit of a play-by-play. I was almost getting live tweeted, but it's on Discord. It was fun. Yes. So I will just share my screen.
Do you want to quickly explain what Ratana is? Because I think there's a lot of people that are aware of Waitangi Day, but not necessarily Ratana and its purpose or its place.
Yeah. So
and the calendar, I guess.
Yeah, so Ratana always takes place at the beginning of the year because it is, I believe, the date of the birthday of the leader of the Rātana faith, which is a faith that was founded in it's a movement that is also considered a Christian faith that began in 1918 by a man called Tahu Pōtiki Wiremu Rātana. And so every year, heaps of people go to Rātana, and because of the political history that Rātana has, obviously, in New Zealand, it is something that political entities always go to. And yeah, it's a cool event. I've actually been to Rātana when I was a kid because my koro was actually an apotoro, which is like a priest of the Ratana faith. So like I remember going there when I was very, very little. And they usually have these big like tents, and you're all just like sleeping in there, and there's a lot of people that tend to go there. So yeah, everyone goes there every year. Politicians go, obviously, like a lot of Māori events. That's a space to kind of place where or bring up take, like as in challenges and issues. That is something that always happens in these events. So obviously, we usually have news around kōrero that has happened around, because they always have their speeches, and just kind of like Waitangi Day, but slightly different, I guess. If you haven't heard of it, though, I highly recommend people look into it and a bit of the history of Rātana. It's quite interesting. Let me just share my screen.
Yes, it was quite the day for political discourse, that's for sure.
And I mean,
another week.
I quite enjoyed actually listening to I mean, of course I did. But I enjoyed listening to Chloe. I think she was definitely a standout speaker in terms of, some of the things she addressed. I will just quickly jump to the timestamp, and then I might just get you to chuck it up for us. Yeah.
You want me to?
Yeah, I'll get you to chuck it up for me now.
What are these?
And just let me know if you guys can hear it.
That's the point, right? What I found really fascinating about the audio today is that
okay, up. Hold on, that might be. Oh, can I go up? We'll try.
The Minister spoke a lot about dialogue. Dialogue requires listening and changing your behaviour if the other end of the bargain, your partner in that relationship, is not happy with the way that you are doing things. So I think we've seen, New Zealanders, both iwi Māori, but also Pākehā, tau iwi, allies, tangata tiriti, all coming together to demonstrate what it is that we believe in and the positive vision that we can have if we work together. And there's no place better to have that kōrero than here at Ratana.
And, can people hear it?
Yeah, sorry, it was very quiet, but do you want to summarize?
So basically,
I'll chuck it up on mine so you can.
Yeah, Chloe's really just talking about the fact that, he talks about dialogue, but they're not having a dialogue. There is no genuine back and forth. There isn't, and also, I love that she also kind of, brought it back to the kaupapa as well, of just I think I saw someone speaking about how, or actually I think she was speaking about how, that, oh yeah, actually there is, but maybe I'll get you to see if you can add it in yourself. Maybe that'll be able to fix the audio issue. If you can just skip to 4 minutes, or do people want us to replay the dialogue section? Because we can just replay that if you like.
Everyone hates that bill. Doing this to people sucks when you shut the participants out. Pretty much, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all in the RNZ article, though, if you want us to read through it.
Yeah. If you can just pop that, I'll just get rid of my one.
These?
Yep. And it's just that one with Chloe. And if you could just go to 4 minutes.
Oh, right at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm super quiet. Oh, it's because I turned it down.
Nah, yours is probably just down here.
Whoop.
Oh, they do want us to replay, actually. So maybe go to 2 minutes.
Okay. Hang on,
28.
guys. Hang on. There we go.
And then unmute yours, because yours is now not playing sound.
Is it not?
Or I can't hear any sound.
Oh, yeah. No, it's me. Oh, my God.
It's fine.
I'll call her.
It's the Atlas Network. I told you guys.
Hang on. This is the Professional Friday show. Everything works perfectly.
I mean, someone's also putting out here. It's like, yes, dialogue requires listening, which obviously this government is not doing. Also, hello from LA. Kia ora. Sorry to hear about all the fires. Hope you're all good.
Yeah, sorry to... I hope we didn't make a cruel comment before.
Nah, it should be right. All right. Just want to see
if of course you guys can't bloody hear. Oh, okay. Hang on. Okay. Can you hear this?
Of understandable time and energy spent on it. This government has also pushed through the boot camps legislation, the removal of Section 7A from the Orangatamariki legislation, their changes around emergency housing disproportionately impact. People are entitled to feel how they feel in a democracy. That's the point, right? What I found really fascinating about the kōrero today is that the Prime Minister spoke a lot about dialogue. Dialogue requires listening and changing your behaviour if the other end of the bargain, your partner in that relationship, is not happy with the way that you are doing things. So I think we've seen, New Zealanders, both iwi Māori, but also Pākehā, tau iwi, allies, tangata tiriti, all coming together to demonstrate what it is that we believe in and the positive vision that we can have if we work together. And there's no place better to have that kōrero than here at Ratana. Do you think Winston
Cool.
Peters
Yeah. But yeah. And I mean, obviously she puts it better than me, but then if you just skip forward to 4 minutes.
Culture war. We've got real issues as a country to focus on.
Tēnā koe, Chloe, he kairipua tau no te reo irirangi o Rātana, he uri no te tai auaru, tēnei ka mihi atu. Bringing it back to the kaupapa of Ratana, what does Ratana mean to you and what brings you back to Ratana?
Kia ora. So I've been coming to Ratana bar the COVID years every year that I've been in Parliament, and it's always been a privilege. Being brought on by the brass band, as a number of politicians spoke to, is unlike, I think, anywhere else in the world. But yeah, just reflecting on particularly the kaupapa, but also the legacy of the prophet. You know, we are talking about a kaupapa that was bigger than any one individual person, which was consistently practiced in order to bring about real change. And I think that there is a lesson in faith in something bigger than all of us and working together to achieve that. That's kotahitanga.
Yeah, so it's a very she's always so eloquent. She was very neutral, I think, in her responses there as well. She was
well, I don't even know if I would say she was neutral. I think she just actually made sure that what was important was stayed on track. Like,
yes,
she kept it on the important kaupapa. She didn't get distracted. She tried to make sure that they weren't, just trying to distract with, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? Like, and, you know, obviously also ending on the kaupapa was just, she is so beautiful. I love her so much.
I am a fan. I can see why people love her so much. I also love the brass band. It's very military, I think, as far as I'm aware. Always love the you know, when you parade like the I don't know actually. I think it's more bagpipes I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, like Scottish band. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a southern thing or a southern thing, but that is something that's very nostalgic around.
Oh no, I mean
Anzac-ish.
We do up here. Wellington, actually, I don't know if you saw in the news. Wellington just had the biggest group of students coming from around the world to actually do Highland pipe band stuff.
Oh yeah.
And like in Rotorua, we actually had quite a lot of it. I had quite a few friends who played bagpipe.
Good.
So, you know, like the Scottish history of, you know, like Scottish history in New Zealand, like there is a lot of that. So, and I mean, also, brass. Like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Red, White and Brass. Amazing movie about a bunch of Samoan people. Oh, it's just amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it. It makes my heart happy.
Is this true or a bit of a joke? Like, because I'm like all for it.
I'm pretty sure it's a joke. But hey, I mean, it can't hurt to try. But yeah.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm sure they're getting better and better every day. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheer them on.
Yeah. I mean, that is a little rough. Oh, okay. Also, apparently, the Rātana band was started in the 80s as something for young people to rally around. That is really awesome, and I did not know that. Thank you, MLB Kiwi. Actually, I remember Melbourne Kiwi.
Melbourne Kiwi.
Yeah.
Do you want to listen to Chippy's 20 seconds?
Might as well.
Chippy, what you got to say?
Oh, here you go, yeah.
What do you mean by platform? Well, I'm not sure he picked his audience particularly well. You know, I don't think he was actually speaking to the issues of concern that were being raised. And I think his just dismissal of it as an overreaction or just nothing to get worried.
He's talking about Luxon's speech, by the way. Just give context.
About, I think, was actually pretty patronising.
What were the issues of concern?
Well, the Treaty Principles Bill was clearly, front and centre, given that actually a number of MPs are not here today because they're currently hearing submissions on the Treaty Principles Bill. So it's still a live bill. Whatever Christopher Luxon and Winston Peters say, right now, Parliament is still considering that bill. And so, that was clearly a concern. But I think the sense that a lot of progress around issues affecting Māori is being dialed back is also a pretty strong undertone from many of the comments today. So things like, rolling back Te Akawhai order, for example, just to name one, those are things that continue to cause concern. We also heard that
relations between Māori and the government are the worst they've been in quite a while. What did you make of those comments?
I don't think most New Zealanders will be surprised by that. This government seemed to be going out of its way to worsen the relationship between Māori and the government. And frankly, I think responsible governments try and do the opposite. They try and bring people together. Well, certainly David Seymour, New Zealand First, they've got long histories of trying to divide the country in order to get a few votes. Unfortunately, Christopher Luxon seems to be going along with that.
Given the concern around the Treaty Principles Bill, what do you make of the absence of David Seymour today?
Oh, I mean, I think David Seymour, if he had the courage of his convictions and was genuinely wanting a debate, he'd show up and have the debate. He's not willing to do that because in his view, an open debate is one in which only he gets to speak and everybody else has to listen.
And David Seymour has been delivering a State of the Nation address today, and he raised the topic of privatisation and said it's something that New Zealand should be more open to discussing. What do you make of that sort of talk, and does that concern you?
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, that is ultimately this government's agenda. It's the most right-wing neoliberal government that we've seen since the early 1990s. They want to defund, destabilise and privatise as much of the public service as they possibly can. And that includes things like healthcare, things like education and so on. And I actually don't think that's an agenda most New Zealanders support.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the thing that pissed me off the most about old Luxon's... He did. He's always so well... He's also very well-spoken. I think it's hard to get over Chippy's unfortunate leadership post-Jacinda in that awkward period.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about his attachment with COVID and, the stand-ups that he did as health minister. And it's going to be very hard for people to shake that image of him. Or that the visual, well, not visual, but the ties that he has to that period, and that people had a lot of frustration and anger around that time.
For sure.
So,
that anti-Jacinda rhetoric and hate, like he definitely gets a little bit of, splashback onto it.
Yeah.
So, and also he really kind of fucked it when it came to last year, not last year's, the year before. The 2023 election. Yeah. So we can't blame people for getting annoyed and not having trust, but I think he is trying to show that they're changing. And it's just good to see him actually be a bit more fired up. And that reference to 1990s, good old Ruthanomics, as Chewie likes to bring up all the time.
Yeah. I was going to say the thing about that quote from Luxon's speech about Ratana was an entrepreneur, and perhaps he would have been a national voter. Like, what a fucked up thing to say.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, like it just seemed very me. It came across like very me, as opposed to this day is actually about you guys. It's like, they probably would have been a national voter. It's like no one's fucking laughing at that dude.
Disgusted me, to be honest. Like, there was this bit that he was talking about. I put a timestamp, but to be honest, I don't really want to put his voice up. Where he was talking about how, they were talking about the Treaty Principle Bill issue. And then they were talking about, he was like, it caused anxiety on all sides. Like, fuck off with your all lives matter bullshit.
No.
And then he also said the previous government didn't make a case for the changes that it was driving through. And my brain went, what? You mean the changes like the establishment of Te Aka Whai Ora? So you're saying they didn't make a good enough or even any case for Māori health to be prioritized? Okay.
I see what you mean.
That's a weird fucking, because that's the thing is, what do you mean by that? Like, what are you pointing to? Because, I actually went back and I was looking at a bunch of articles. Actually, I'll share this article that I found from...
Actually, what the fuck are you trying to say, Luxon? I love your notes. What the fuck are you trying to say?
Oh yeah, my notes are usually just but
this will help me remember it.
Yeah, actually, where is it? Yeah, so I was looking into this, and this was actually around when Jacinda had left. So if you can just pop it onto, I'll just pop it onto the screen. So here they were talking about, obviously how the Ardern government had done particularly good work around housing and homelessness. I mean, the fact that, it announced that New Zealand history would be taught in schools and kura from 2022, which meant including history taught in school now covers the arrival of original discoverers, the signing of the Treaty of Waitangi, and the impacts of colonization and the New Zealand Wars. So were those things that he doesn't think have grounds to exist under the last administration? Is this what he's fucking talking about? Because if he's trying to say that, then that's fucking concerning and actually quite terrifying. Obviously the health shit was bad enough, but like, what does he mean by that? There's a reason my note says the fuck you mean, bro. Like, it's concerning because he likes to say a lot of things with a smile on his face, but with a knife behind his back to just absolutely kill anything that's going to help the people who need it the most. Yeah. And then he wonders why he's getting grilled about trust.
Yep. And that's the RSB for me, is I didn't realize that until the week of, or even after the submissions were due, that he had said in his coalition agreement that he will support the RSB, and that is the more damaging and much more complicated and the regulatory standards bill, which will cause so much more damage than the treaty principles. I mean, they both would. If the treaty principles bill went through, it would be fucking constitutionally fuck everything. As it's our founding document, they're trying to reinterpret. But the RSB, he's already said that he will support it, and that's the one that we should be really focusing on, because it has its fingers in if you read through it, and it is complex. And there's a few people that have done deep dives and actually sort of plain English for people. But it has its fingers in every sector of government of our country, and it will fuck us over so bad. He said he will support that one, and they have a majority. So someone was mentioning here that they didn't, the treaty principles bill. So we're kind of sure it's dead in the water. It's done. Someone said, shine a light on the regulatory standards bill, but I think it's treaty principles bill is overshadowing. Absolutely. But because it was so hard to disseminate and actually make sense of, and for people to put into language that others would understand, or, regular people would understand, it really did get overshadowed. And I think there was actually a tactic. I think the media fucked up on that, and I think David Seymour knew exactly what he was doing. He knew it was dead in the water. National knew it was dead in the water, but they had something behind their backs that was going to make it worse. But
also, to be fair, for that comment as well, because I started that. The reason I started that was because we have been. So to whoever said that, you might not have been watching very much over the last month or so, but I was literally pinging people the day of we were making our submissions. Don't worry, we have been talking about that. There was a great interview with an expert about the RSB. Like, don't worry, we did not forget that.
We did our part, but I don't think we, being our very small, it's only 15,000 people or less who actually can, watch every other episode. But it's the media's fault, really. It's the wider media's fault for not bringing light to it, and
they picked up
grilling them. Yeah, to grill them on both. And someone did mention that it's about, what do they call it? Media desert, they call it, where there's not enough media coverage on, because there's not enough media staff or journalists around because they got rid of TV3. Maybe to their own benefit. Government didn't step in. Maybe they knew what they were doing. That could be part of it. But so I don't know what we can do about it at this point, but I guess don't let one slip, and let's make sure that both are actually mentioned.
There's some conversations happening in the chat that I'm just going to quickly touch on. So I see good old disarray, old piss drinker. I see you've been forcibly made to drink some piss in the comments, but I'm just going to point this out. No problems. But one thing that you should really remember, colonization meant that a lot of us got diluted, first of all. Second of all, sometimes when people come out biologically, it gets a bit weird because DNA does weird stuff. I'm the white one. My brothers are very, very, very brown. And this is my koro. So, first of all, I don't have to prove myself. I don't have to prove myself. But I'm gonna. Second of all, some people have actually noticed, but you might notice at the end of this, I say keep cool till after school. And some people have gone, you're too young to know what that is. And you're right. Because that's my uncle, Ollie Olsen. Because I'm an Olsen. I didn't want to say it because I don't think that I should actually have to mention that because my whakapapa is my whakapapa. But I just want to point out to people, like, don't assume. You don't know what a Māori looks like. We are not a monolith. Even before colonization, we had, the Patu Paiarehe, who were fair-skinned Māori. So just maybe decolonize your brain a little bit. Think about it next time. And don't get mad when people come for you in the comments because you assumed and you made an ass out of you and me. So, all good? Me. Love it. That's all the piss you have to drink, though. We love you. Stay around.
That is, I see that on Blue Sky. I see this is my new favorite hashtag, gargle my piss.
To be fair, it made me think of old Stink Piss from Twitch. Good. That's who I thought of straight away was Stink Piss from Twitch, one of our commenters that we get sometimes on a Friday night. Yeah, Stink Piss. That's who I was thinking of. Piss. So yeah.
Not saying that you should gargle that piss, but I'm just
Stink Piss. Yeah.
Where are you at? Where's that Twitter boy? And Twitter boy. Where's that Twitch boy?
I know, right? I've kind of missed him, to be honest, but I'm sure he'll be back. It's all good.
On merch? You have to ask Pat about that one. That might be a bit much.
Yeah. Anyway, should we maybe do a couple of memes? Yeah, we'll do a couple of memes, and then I'll go into a bit of a small deep dive.
Go for it. What are we memeing this week? Oh, actually, before you do that, I think we have one.
Chat.
Super chat. We had Excel there for $5. I saw so many Nat voters turn on him because of that speech. I got one to agree we need to capital gains tax and FDR style corporate tax hikes. Good on you. That's a positive sign. I mean, it's one voter at a time, right?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Sweet.
Well, it's kind of awkward. We have someone from LA watching today, but
sorry. Please, I hope you enjoy the positive, funny side.
This is the only one, I swear. And it just says, it's funny how there's people online trying to stir up hysteria about looters during a wildfire. That is like the type of disaster that is most adverse to looting. Like, shit is on fire. Damn. I hope the looting doesn't affect property values. Because they fucking would, eh? He's so worried about that.
Yeah.
This one, just whoever bullied these guys in high school has a lot to answer for, with a picture of Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk, and honestly, I don't know who the other people are. Some rich people.
It's so true. Oh.
Also, this masterpiece that is I don't know what the original photo is called. It's one of those, I think it must be from like one of those Catholic buildings. I'm not religious, sorry guys. If you know the name, please let us know. But you can see a few faces.
Maybe a Michelangelo, I assume. Not Michelangelo.
Yeah, we got an Elon,
Vinci,
Trump. Maybe. We got JD over here. We've got the awesome priest that did that amazing sermon corridor that Trump tried to be all like, "Wah, you should apologize." Meh. I mean,
oh geez,
it explains itself. And for those of you who are audio listeners, it is the Tesla logo with a certain symbol that was used
the opposite of a Buddhist
1939. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
The opposite direction. Yes,
mm-hmm.
I liked this one. Good old Futurama. Nobody mistakenly does a Nazi salute, And I mean, it's that simple.
At least you apologize if you do.
Or you get better at it, because based off of this meme, he needs to be better. So I just thought that was hilarious. Some good old George Orwell. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. And I mean...
1984, reality strikes.
And then this fun little one of, let's just leave Elon on Mars. Wishful thinking by Shid E. Dick. Billionaires.
It is one of my... I think it's the only, like, I guess it's kind of an apt use of it, but what do you call it? A horizon? Not the event horizon, but a positive in the horizon of him, you know, pushing SpaceX into Mars is that he might go with it.
Yeah, just leave.
Go on, go to Mars. Have fun.
Honestly,
no one wants you. But the damage he'll do in between is going to fuck us up.
Yeah, unfortunately. The good old Batuta advocate. Trump brings back masculine energy by doing his signature double hand job dance move.
Hand job? Yes.
Yeah. It really is.
Keep doing it. It's a great meme.
Caitlyn Jenner posting on Twitter being like, congratulations, Mr. President. Thanks be to God.
Oh my
God,
like, you're an idiot.
Girl, no. Well, sorry, I guess not.
I
wouldn't be allowed to say that.
Yeah. Were they allowed to change it on their passport and keep it? Does that segue perfectly into your deep dive?
I may have ordered my memes to do as such.
Nice work.
I may order my memes. Like, I'm a fucking nerd, guys. Anyway, yes. So obviously we all saw that old dickhead thinks that he can make an executive order that there are only two genders. Like, that's just something he can dictate and do. So I guess I love that for him. But I think it's obviously been very frustrating. Also, I guess at the top of this, we will start with a disclaimer again. I see a lot of people in the comments go, oh, bright hairy news with the ladies, with the girls. A reminder, if you can't read the screen, there are pronouns in this box right here that are not she, her. So, yeah. We're going to start with that anyway. And I appreciate all the people in the comments I see who actually like look out for me and stick up for me. I see yous. Yous are awesome. And I don't mind being patient. It can take people a while to learn things. Oh, gee. As long as you're trying to learn, I don't care. And so obviously everything that's been going on has been honestly pretty horrible. And this obviously hasn't been horrible just since, like, you know, recently. This has been something that has been something that people have been worried ever since he got voted in. And I think, unfortunately, one of the things that I think we really need to talk about is something that's going to be really fucking horrible to talk about. So I'm going to preface this now with trigger warnings because we're snowflakes. If you do not want to hear about suicide, if you can't handle difficult discussions around trans people and those kind of topics, please leave now. Do not hurt yourself. It is a Friday. Yes, we will have memes after, but sometimes that's not enough. So please leave if you need to.
Meme sandwiches.
Yeah. Sometimes it helps, but also, you know, sometimes you're just not in the headspace. So please, please look after yourself first. And if you've got a problem with all of that trigger warning, then go away. I don't care. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share this. I'm going to have to restart it. So don't worry, I'll keep it muted for a second. This is a really, really hard video that was posted just after Trump's took office.
A real hard one to watch.
Oh, I love this person.
I think I need to tell the story because a few minutes ago, I opened up my messages on Instagram and I got a message from a mom of a trans kid. She tells me about how her daughter, who was 16 years old, loved me. I was her favorite content creator. And she would go to school with overalls and flannels on and tell people she would want to be the trans handyman when she grew up. And 3 days after Donald Trump got elected, she took her own life. I don't know what to do with that information, but I felt like I needed to share it. I felt like we need to hear stories of this. The mom went on to say that she was deadly scared of losing the access to the gender-affirming care that she needed, that she was tired of being ridiculed and made fun of. She was tired of people pushing her down and making her feel lesser. I know a lot of you will never fully understand why we are advocating for trans kids. I know a lot of you never will. But can you at least, for a moment, open your heart? Can you at least for a moment understand these are children? That they're not mutilating their bodies. Some of them only want puberty blockers. Some of them only want to be able to wear binders and gas. Some of them just want to be called by the right name and the right pronouns. And there's laws that might be restricted that at school. They can't even use the bathroom. And you act like they do this because of their trans. They do this because of you. When kids believe that tomorrow is going to be a whole lot worse than today, when they are told constantly that they are not who they say they are, when they are told they're pretending or that they're freaks or that they're lesser than, when they're treated lesser than, when they are told that it is okay that others make fun of them because they need to be taught a lesson. When they are told these things, children will internalize that. They will take all of those awful things that they hear and put that into their mind and internalize it. And that hatred from others becomes self-hatred for themselves. And then you act like they are the problem for ending their own life. You act like they had no reason in the world to think that tomorrow was going to be worse than today. And I do not know what else to say to you to make you understand that kids who go through all of that aren't pretending. I don't know what to tell you, that when they go through a therapist and a doctor and their parents, that they deserve to have that gender-affirming care that they all approve of. I do not know how to tell you they should be allowed to go into the bathroom that matches with their identity. I do not know how to tell you that it should be okay that they use a name of their choosing in school and the correct pronouns for them. I do not know how else to communicate that to you to make you have empathy for children. And if you're someone who keeps on saying you don't know why you have to change for such a small group of people in the world, that is how a society is measured, by how they take care of the most vulnerable in their society. And when a society is actively targeting marginalized communities, when a society is actively trying to harm those individuals, that is not a society. That's a genocide.
And I mean, I obviously had to let that play because Mercury says it better than I ever could. She puts it into words that I know many people have felt, but also like, yeah, it's frustrating that, you know, I have to come here on a Friday night and show people that a child is dead because some people can't wrap their fucking heads around stuff. And it's infuriating. Because, like, you know, I'm an adult. I learned these things when I was older. I can handle watching people call me a girl in the comments because I know better. I understand the psychology. But those kids are forming who they are. They're forming the basis of how they feel safe in the world. And when they see people like Trump and they see people like just anyone because it's not just right wingers. You know, there are people in the middle and even some lefties who can be fucking dicks. And it's just frustrating that people have to literally not only fight to just exist and mind their own fucking business, but then also have to try and, you know, literally prove themselves time and time fucking again. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. Because then people go, oh, well, it's only one little thing here. It's only one little thing there. That's how all of these things happen, you know? The same thing that happened to Indigenous people around the world. It's happened time and time again. And then when people get mad, you know, when trans people get upset, when they start getting angry back, then it's, oh, trans people are the problem. And like there's actually a phenomenon, they call it like hedgehogging, where when you're a part of a minority that's attacked, you just become defensive after a certain point. That's why you get people in our communities who end up just being too far in the opposite direction and just lashing out at everyone, because how you can't blame them. They get pushed to these like things, and it's really just unfair when a person is just trying to exist in their own skin. And I think there's a video that I'll follow this up with just to kind of bring in what I think is sometimes a lot of the issues with people who I think get so scared and afraid of, I guess, trans people, trans issues, not even trans people, trans issues, queer people, queer issues, any minorities issues. Like there's just this unfortunate thing where we are afraid a lot of the time. And I'll just reshoot it.
That being honest is the most painful process. We live in a culture that tells us to be ourselves, but actually doing that means isolating the very people who say that they love you. Often our families, often our friends, means having to choose a life of presumed loneliness. But what trans people can say is on the other side of that loneliness, we actually found the people we were searching for all along.
And that actually is like just a conversation that I see and I've seen a lot of. And I think it is very true that like there's just a lot of people who I think get a little bit, I think, hurt when they realize, oh shit, I suppressed all these things I enjoyed. I made decisions because of other people's opinions. And it turns out the whole time I actually didn't have to do that. And seeing someone live in a truth like that can be really confronting when you realize, oh, maybe I actually had a choice. Maybe I have regret now that I am now projecting onto somebody else.
Sorry, I'm just reading half the comments and wanting to rip my fucking hair out.
Yeah.
I ended up... So, if you're wondering, Desiree, I just ended up...
doesn't really say anything until trans issues come up.
Yeah. I kicked Desiree out because I'm like, look, if you're not going to be empathetic or at least try and listen, then like you can either shut up and listen or fuck off.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
if you've got no empathy for this stuff, then you're never going to have any empathy for it.
I knew that this was going to be a subject that was going to make, you know, people have weird, I guess, opinions. There's actually another one from Alok, because actually if people aren't aware of Alok, or if you are aware of Alok, they're actually coming to New Zealand to do a tour. So if you have money and you're available to go, I highly recommend getting tickets, because I really, really, really wish I could go and see them. They're coming to Wellington, but unfortunately, yeah, I can't. But highly, highly recommend. So let's just restart this one.
That voice in me that says, hello, you're a little bit too zany. Your necklace, you know, you got to tone it down. To be taken seriously, you have to speak like a man. But then you realize there's nothing serious about people who give keynote presentations and then cry themselves to sleep. There's nothing serious about people who accrue all the business titles and die alone. I want a good life, which means an honest and vulnerable life. And so if that's my choice, if I want to die with dignity and the fullest and freest version of myself, I got to wear the goddamn necklace. If we learn how to mute ourselves in small ways, then we learn how to mute ourselves in big ways. So we have to practice. What style is practice. Practice for learning how to say, I'm going to be me, regardless what you think about it.
And like, yeah, honestly, Alok has actually been one of the people that really helped me through everything that I went through, because it was, you know, it's really difficult when you grow up your whole life, you know, and we all experience this in different ways. You know, men, they have different things that they experience that they think that they're supposed to do. And then they realize, oh, they see a gay man and they get a bit fucking freaked out, and they're like, it's like, no, babe, you know, you can actually just do what you want, wear what you want, and it doesn't change who you are. Clothes are literally just fucking material. We're the ones that assign gender to them. Like, it's, you know, also because then it's like cultural context can change things too, because, you know, you look at lava lava and kilt, but if you wore that in a European setting, that might be considered a fucking skirt. Like, there's the thing is, people like to make these very just hard, rigid things. Like, just let things be fluid. Just enjoy life. And as long as people aren't being assholes, just fucking move on. It's really not that hard. Like, you can say what you want, that it's oh, well, I'm just worried that, you know, children are going to mutilate themselves. Well, we don't have that conversation around, you know, how many times do you see things on, like, of rich people who give their 16-year-olds a fucking boob job? Boob jobs are gender affirming,
or a nose
care.
job. Yeah.
Well, that's gender affirming care. If you get a boob job to make yourself feel like the woman you feel like, you know, you feel like would feel like more of a woman with bigger boobs, that's gender affirming care. Like,
I would argue
so many things
a
that
nose
people,
job is similar too.
There are so many things people do that are gender affirming care. Trans people aren't the only ones who do it. We're just the only ones who think about it more actively because we have to. Because we have dysphoria that we have to counteract. When you don't think about something, you don't actually realize you're automatically doing things. The same way our bodies, we don't think about the fact that we're breathing most of the time. You know, we don't think about the fact that we're swallowing, that our brain is doing, like, our body does stuff automatically that we don't notice. These are the same things, like, and it's just, yeah, it's been frustrating, obviously, to watch this, like, rhetoric. But I'm not going to completely doom and gloom it. We do have a way that we're going to bring this back around. So don't worry, people. This is not all be nice to trans people. It's a horrible time and we're all fucking wildly depressed. Because, yeah, a lot of us are depressed. But that's just because the world sucks. That actually has nothing to do with it. But there's also this another awesome post by a creator that I found that is, I don't think there's sound, so I'll try to read it. Today's reminder: you aren't decolonized if you uphold a strict gender binary. This doesn't mean that you have to be gender diverse, but humans naturally are. It is not until colonization expanded to other nations that we seen forced binary gender structures. In fact, dating all the way back to Mesopotamia, we have seen gender diversity. Discrediting centuries of human existence for a foreign structure isn't decolonization. Oh, and feminine energy should lead communities, not masculine. Just saying. Which is another part of the conversations to be having, is that this gender binary thing, that's post-colonial. That is new. So
very Western take on
another
things,
part
isn't it?
that people ignore conveniently. And I'm just gonna, I don't know if there's any comments that you wanna look through.
Yeah, actually I am.
I'll find some stuff while you have a look at that.
I appreciated this from Rajan. This is something that I've been actively trying to do, my partner and I, because he's a teacher and, you know, always try and encourage him to use they, them pronouns. So try training yourself to refer to someone as they, them by default if you don't know someone's pronouns. Always a great way to start, especially if it's if you're in a setting where perhaps it's, well, I suppose just in just general life, I suppose. It's always good to just train it.
Neutralizing your language is just, it just makes sense. It's just easier.
And then also from Rajan, thanks for $2. We're here, we're queer, get used to it. I love that. That's true.
Yeah, we are.
Just people being people. Let them be people. Also, we've got Trick Nut 72 for $5. I'm a dad of 4 girls. One is bi and one is gay. I support them all. No thinking about it. Easy.
Yeah, shouldn't have to.
That is wonderful. And
also,
sorry.
No, you're fine. I was going to say there was a comment that I wanted to address, but you go first.
Oh, okay. Peter says Trump's order has a pi equals 3 vibe.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Does the PI have anything to do with the equals 3? I get the equals 3, or is it the other way around?
Well, because, I mean, it's like, these guys, I mean, I thought it was just more for the wording.
No, I'm looking at it as a picture. So, I don't know.
I think it's a mixture of both.
Mixture of both. Also, this is another comment that I really liked. Elon Musk took testosterone and got hair transplant at one point.
Oh,
that is gender affirming care.
That dude used to have the mean receding
It's not just about changing to one binary to the other or somewhere in between. It's about affirming your own beliefs about your own gender.
Exactly.
That's why some women wear makeup. Because they want to look more feminine and they enjoy wearing it.
Yeah.
Some get a boob job. Some guys want their hair back.
Yeah, some guys take, what is it? What's that stuff that like bodybuilders, steroids?
Yes, some take steroids to be more masculine. Like everyone deals with this shit. Just like let people either deal with it the way that they want to and don't, shit on them for doing so.
Also with this one. Also, I don't know if I want to blow your mind, but not only is gender binary more of a colonial construct, gender is a social construct. Fucking crazy. Turns out humans just make up stuff because that's how we understand the world. That's literally it. Otherwise, our little monkey brains get upset and feel unsafe. Okay, I will share my next video. This one is the last one that'll probably be a little bit more aggressive. This one's just we're going kind of moving into the arc now that I've kind of more titled examples of like trans resilience and kind of the response, I guess, that we're seeing from the trans community in terms of all the bullfuckery that's happening over there. And this also kind of aligns with being more mongrel.
Here's some things you're going to want to know about me in the next 4 years. In the next 4 years, I'm someone who stands behind what intersectionality actually is. If you're not intersectional and you don't actually know what that looks like in practice, I'm not here for you. If you're someone who says ACAB, but you don't actually have any idea how to get rid of the cop that operates how you view the world, I'm not here for you. If you are someone who thinks that you can make people who don't like trans people understand by being the most respectable, by being palatable, I am not for you. If you think I have done those things, you are misreading the room. I am not here for people who do not and want to understand trans people. I'm here and I am kind because that's who I am trying to be. I refuse to change that outlook on life because someone's being an asshole to me. However, if they're being an asshole to me, I won't even talk to you. Lastly, but certainly not least, if you're someone who follows me only for my DIY content and you care more about tools than the people who are holding those tools, I am not here for you. I'm not here to try to make you learn what compassion is. That is not how I want to spend my day. What I want to do is help people who have already accepted these terms. And if you're someone who wants to understand but you're not quite there yet, here's some great reading material for you to jump into and maybe start thinking about all the things I just said. And if you're someone who doesn't like the fact I just yelled, I'm sorry, but you did not pass the test. Have a good day, take care, and bye-bye.
I mean, she says it perfectly. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can still see that, piss drinkers being a little bit fucking thing in the comments. No one said makeup hides it. It's about trying to make you feel like you're closer to that. You know, like the same way some people who have issues with being fat put on waist trainers so they can feel closer to being skinny, but it ain't going to change the fact that they ain't. It's just going to make them feel better in themselves. So if you want to keep drinking piss, I will keep pissing. Otherwise, keep fucking listening. I've got two more quick videos, and then we can move on to the fun stuff. So another one from one of my favorite humans.
Will persecute you for your brilliance and your genius. The people who are targeting and bullying you are not targeting and bullying you because you're weak. They're going to say that. They're going to say that you lack something, that you're broken. But ask yourself, there's a zillion other things they could be doing with their time. And they are choosing to spend their precious time on earth persecuting you. It's because you're powerful. Actually, all of those things, they're not vulnerable enough to say, teach me. They're not vulnerable enough to say, I'm envious of your freedom. So don't shapeshift. Don't try to make yourself more palatable. They'll never love you if they can't love you in your fullness.
And baby, I'm full figure as fuck.
Living my best life.
And that's the thing.
It might be a closet case. Yeah, probably.
And hey, then we're going to... no, you go. I'm going to load up something.
I was going to say, sometimes people just think about the shit people say to you and just think, man, are you projecting? What are your insecurities that you're going to hate on me for this? Do you have something you're not telling us?
Also, I say way worse things to myself. You can literally not say anything to me that is worse than what I say to myself in my darkest days. Like,
yep.
You can try, but probably won't work.
That's right. Please explain. If you don't know what projecting is, look it up.
And then we're going to end on some non-binary joy.
If that is illegal, then explain this.
This is a public service announcement. Anyone dressed in androgynous outfits.
This is a sweet and friendly reminder that you are safe here. Show off your binder.
The outside world gets a little bit crazy, trying to figure out, are you a man or a lady? Not rocket surgery, it's very simple. I'm just a little more me in the middle.
I need more of that in my life.
Everybody asks me if I'm feeling accepted and comfy and safe. I'll say, hey, it's been a while, nice to see ya. There's something I've been meaning to say. No, I'm okay. You know how I'm getting.
Just monetize for this.
Well, now I go by that. It's no big deal. I'm more me now. If you make mistakes, it's all okay. I'm still the same. But now I go by that.
And yeah, we might get demonetized for that, but it's too good. It's too good.
Don't get kicked off. Don't get us kicked off.
Nah, we won't get kicked off. But yeah, and that's how we're ending it, because even though people are trying to be dicks, trans people still
actually
exist.
No. Some very small amount of people. I just want to shout out to Ernie on Twitch. Thanks, bro. And also everyone in the chat who's just like, just
being G's.
Just being G's. Yeah. And calling it what it is. Like, not everyone's gonna agree on some of these issues. But at the end of the day, my message to everyone is just let people be people. And if it's not harming you, just leave them be.
Uh-huh.
And work on yourself, to be fair.
Yeah.
Go and take yourself out somewhere and think about the way that you treat other people and say, is this the way I really want to live my life, or I just want to focus on myself? Because fuck everyone else, man. Just be yourself.
Absolutely. Anyway, we will quickly move on to our little happy stories, because that's why I want to
it's getting to 10:30 and I want to go to sleep. What you got?
Oops, I think I shared the wrong video.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I got the wrong link.
Positive news story of the week, I'd say.
Yeah, that I could find at least. Oh no, sorry, I just keep clicking the wrong one for some reason. There we go. Anyhow, I'll get you to pop it up for me, please.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a shopping mall, and it's a slightly unprepossessing location, you'd think, for a wedding, but they've created this big space here for the hundreds of couples. 200 in total will come here, and there will be others across Bangkok and across the whole country celebrating this day. It really matters to them. And anybody who's been to Thailand knows that this is a country where there's always been tolerance and acceptance of alternative sexualities, of LGBTQ lifestyles. I mean, that's been there for years. But legal recognition makes a very big difference to all the couples coming here today, and the others will get married. Some of these people have been together for 20 years, and yet they've not been able to guarantee inheritance. They don't have power of attorney if one of them gets ill. Fundamentally, they're not recognized as couples with all the legal rights that go with regular marriage. As of today, they get that. I mean,
which is obviously awesome news.
And you didn't say what it was, but Thailand legalized same-sex marriage.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody's celebrating.
And yeah, like a mass wedding. Oh, just so cute. I love that. And some more, because we're doing a bit more of a quick fire good news. We actually have some good news out of Xiaohongshu. I've learned that we probably should call it by the real name because Red Book or Red Note is technically incorrect by translations. So Xiaohongshu is how I'm going to be referring to it. Because it's actually not that hard to say. Yeah. The new TikTok. But this was just something fun and kind of wholesome and funny from there.
Have noticed the influx of American-speaking TikTokers seeking refugee on their vertically scrolling video platform, and have decided to all start making the same joke about them all being Chinese spies and posting images of people with a gun going, "Please give me your data. I am here to steal your data." Oh man, it's good. Many English-speaking TikTokers have done their best to learn a teeny bit of Mandarin in order to be able to contribute to the culture and assimilate into the shit posting that occurs on Xiaohongshu, only to discover that some of the memes on this Chinese TikTok app are just as freaky and difficult to understand whether you speak the language or not.
我所有在中国的朋友们，你们好，我是抖音难民。
Which just like learning a whole language so you can understand a meme is like a level that I respect so badly. But my favorite part is this.
Up from the individual who was asking for help with his homework in the comments of a Pornhub video, some Chinese citizens have taken to asking for help on their English homework in the comments of this Chinese TikTok app, and Americans are helping them with their English homework.
Okay, fine. To all the Chinese people on Xiaohongshu, I'll cut you a deal. If you teach us all Mandarin, I'll do your English homework. I swear to God. I swear to God. I think that's a fair deal. I think that's a fair exchange. What do you guys think? Let me know.
Well, there is obvious...
Which just... I just love that kind of silliness and just seeing a bit of wholesome fun happening on the internet, given the not so wholesome fun that's been going on the internet.
Luna would like to also, oh no, you don't want to say hi?
Oh, okay. Rude, Luna. How dare.
And give the internet some love too. Alright. This is how we end the show now.
Then we better put on some more stuff. Then the last one
Luna wants cuddles. You can't see her,
is my favorite. I miss her.
Everyone, I owe you a bit of an update. You might remember a little while ago, I said that after being initially quite reluctant, I decided to write a book, and it is finally done. It will be out on shelves on the 3rd of June, but it's also available for pre-order now. I shared it recently with someone, the manuscript, and they sent me a note back saying that they found it surprising, and I guess that's because I've written about things that I haven't shared before, but I've also tried to share how it feels to lead, especially if you're surprised to find yourself in leadership. And for anyone who has ever doubted themselves. I really hope there's something in it for them as well. The book is called A Different Kind of Power.
And I really, really, really think that Luxon needs like a whole box of them on his doorstep. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, maybe send one to each, you know, like the National Act, and like, yeah, just send it to all of them.
Send one to Nicola Willis and Erica.
Just seeing her face honestly made my fucking day. And then we've got a little meme of just, is this what hell looks like? What is this?
Oh,
what is this done? Oh, is it shared? Oh no.
Hang on, I got it.
Oh, you got
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh. Oh god. They clearly never went to their school prom.
I mean, those fucking turbo virgins, of course not. And then just to round it out, I have got a couple of little things. I did set up a submissions post, but I'm sorry, people, I actually did not download it properly. So I will post it in the Discord and pop it on Blue Sky. For all of those of you who want to know what submissions are coming up and what's, you know, on our due date, I will get that posted. But for anyone... also, I'm not usually in light mode, but I am not logged in right now, so apologies, everyone. There's some free books, free book pop-ups on the corner of Willis Street and Bond Street here in Wellington, every Tuesday to Thursday until the end of January, which is awesome. Go get free books because, you know, reading is fundamental. And knowing this government, they might make it harder for you to get access to books and stuff at some point. So, like... Maybe just get some. And also, oh, don't log in. There is one other event coming up that's actually in Christchurch that I really want to go to and I can't go to. So I want other people to know it exists so they can go to it. And it's a Dungeons and Drag Things, Music, Magic, Mayhem, which has DJs, dancing, costumes, role-playing, and quests. And it's 8 p.m. till 4 a.m. And it's a queer fundraiser that is raising money for Mana Tipua, which is a Māori LGBTQ plus organization down in Ōtautahi. So if you can go, highly recommend looking into this. Obviously, there's a QR code on the screen right now. Otherwise, just look up the name and I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Yeah, and I think...
Nice. Been a good show.
Yeah, I think that's everything. Other than a couple of memes, but we can save those memes for next week.
Oh my god, Luna.
Although I will get to these last couple of comments because there was a few I saw during the thing. And I think this was a really good point by TDS Herman, is that culture wars are important when it comes to actually fighting for what is right. That is a very good point, and we need to remember that. Is that just saying culture wars is a way to kind of discredit us and all that bullshit. Also, I did forget to mention this, but yes, New Zealand has more pipe bands per capita than Scotland, so that was a fun little tidbit. Also, I noticed shout out to people who watched my uncle. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of him, not gonna lie. And then I think we've got a couple more super chats from Exildeer, $5. Trump is like pie, irrationally long-winded and circular.
Yes,
and like obtuse.
Yes, it is.
And Trick Nut 72, $5. End of day. You do you and don't judge others lest you want to be judged. Yeah. Do that Christian stuff in the good way, guys, not in the bad way. Use it to be a good person, not a bad person.
All right, let's send us out with some music.
Hell yeah.
I was going to do this.
Help us
Cool.
settle a debate, whether it be thoughtful or funny, even if we're all creatures of hate. It's a fine line that we're walking together. For better, push aside the temptation to berate. Let's take a note of the corners we stand in. As many points as the hairs on my chinny
Thanks for joining us everyone for the Friday night show. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. I myself and Chewie will be back on Monday through Thursday, and then Magenta and I will be back on Friday. Anything to say, Magenta?
No, we're going to be changing the schedule for the out of context clip, so we'll get back to you guys on that one. But thank you for joining us, everyone, and remember that we are not ladies. Don't be transphobic and don't be a dick. But also have a good weekend, because I love you guys.
Yay! Have a good weekend. I'll see you next week. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Be cool till after school.